Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. The Election Commission sets the ceiling for election expenses of candidates at 350,000 rupees for the January 25th National Assembly election. Farmers given expired chemical fertilizers through a cooperative in Salyan. Karnali Province's Agriculture Minister directs to destroy 800 sacks of expired fertilizers. The Israel-Hamas war reaches 100 days today. Israelis gather at Hostages Square in Tel Aviv to mark 100 days since their relatives were abducted and taken into hostage. And APF thumps Bagmati Province by 89 runs in the Prime Minister Cup men's cricket tournament. Karnali also defeats Gandaki by 7 wickets. Candidates for the upcoming National Assembly election can spend up to 350,000 rupees as election expenditure. The Election Commission fixed the ceiling for election expenses of the candidates today for the National Assembly polls scheduled for 25th of January later this month. The Commission has directed each candidate participating in the election to open accounts in 3 separate banks or financial institutions and carry out election spendings within the ceiling set by the Commission. The Commission has informed that the candidates can only spend in vehicle fuel, publicity materials, transportation, seminar and interaction programs, office operation, deployment of representatives, among others. The Commission has also directed to provide details of the person given responsibility to spend on behalf of the candidate to the Office of the Election Officer. The Commission has also said that the candidates have to turn in their election expenses to the Commission or the Office of the Election Officer within 30 days from the announcement of the election results. Meanwhile, the ruling alliance has called on voters to ensure their candidates win in the nearing National Assembly election. The meeting of the alliance held this morning at the Prime Minister's official residence in Baluatar made a joint appeal to all of those who will be voting in January 25th to vote for their candidates. Top brass leaders also said the upper house polls is an opportunity to lock political stability. The meeting informed that a 4-membered parliamentary mechanism had been working for the election. Today's meeting had also touched upon the bill related to Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The ruling alliance is preparing to endorse the bill through the winter session of the parliament by process if it fails to attain the consensus required at the parliamentary committee. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. And the question is, why have political parties not formulated legislation to facilitate leadership change? Your options are A, high-handedness policy, B, new generation not ready, and C, lack of pressure. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, the government is preparing to form the next fiscal budget in line with the 16th five-year plan. For this, the draft of the 16th five-year plan must be approved by the Council of Ministers by 12th of February. At present, the National Planning Commission is deciding on the programs for the next fiscal year. However, it is struggling on the issue of unlimited liabilities. The Commission is also holding discussions with stakeholders at provincial levels. Considering the current trend, the second draft for the plan has highlighted on the possibility of a huge gap between revenue and expenses. In the 6 months of the ongoing fiscal year, the government has collected just around 443 billion rupees in revenue, which is 31% of its target. The Ministry of Finance had aimed at collecting 668 billion rupees in revenue in the first 6 months. Capital expenditure has also been limited to 15%. Meanwhile, the government's current expenses have been going up, and considering the increasing liability with social security funds, there are chances that the government might not be able to continue with its social security commitments. The government is currently bearing 87 different social liabilities, including the elderly allowance for 1,600,000 individuals. The other social security allowances are given to lactating mothers, single women, and the disabled population, among others. These allowances make up about 14% of the total government budget. Moving on, Arati Rawalgiri, the wife of Judge Bhuvan Giri, has attempted self-immolation in Supreme Court premises today. Giri had filed a case against her husband, Judge Bhuwan Giri, for marital rape and had been demanding for legal actions. Following today's self-immolation attempt, the police had taken Arati Giri in control and taken her to Bir Hospital for treatment. The police have reported her condition to be normal. Bhuwan Giri had been arrested around 10 months ago but was granted bail by District Court Kapil Vastu against 275,000 rupees. It has been revealed that expired chemical fertilizers were sold to farmers in Salyan through a cooperative. It has been understood that Salt Trading Corporation Limited's Sheetalpati branch had been selling expired chemical fertilizers named Kheti Shakti to the farmers through a cooperative. After the farmers complained about the fertilizers, Karnali Province's Minister for Land Management, Agriculture and Cooperatives, Bhim Prakash Sharma, carried out a monitoring and found that 800 sacks of expired chemical fertilizers had been ready. Minister Sharma has directed to destroy the expired fertilizers right away. It's been informed that more than 4,000 sacks of DAP fertilizers and 3,500 sacks of urea were found. Now, the family of Sajilman Shakya has staged a protest in front of the Square Hotel in Lalitpur, saying he had fallen sick after swimming in the hotel's pool. On 1st of November last year, Shakya had fainted while swimming in the hotel pool and he was rushed to the Medicity hospital. His condition failed to improve and he was brought back home in a state of coma. Shakya's family have alleged the hotel of dodging the responsibility of looking after him, saying that Shakya had been electrocuted while swimming. The District Police Office in Lalitpur is currently investigating the incident. Meanwhile, the hotel has said Shakya had suffered a heart attack while swimming instead and said they were prepared to bear the consequences if proven otherwise. The hotel claims Shakya's wife and son had also used the swimming pool the day the incident had occurred. And let's move on to international update. Israelis gathered at Hostages Square in Tel Aviv to mark 100 days since their relatives were abducted and taken into captivity in Gaza. Today marked 100 days since Hamas militants rampaged through communities in southern Israel, during which Israel says 1,200 people were killed, 240 taken hostages. During a temporary ceasefire in November, Hamas released 105 hostages. Israel kept up bombardments at the Gaza Strip on Saturday, vowing to press ahead with its offensive to destroy the Islamist movement Hamas as the war reached 100-day mark with no end in sight. Since the October 7 attack on Israel, which triggered the war, more than 23,000 Palestinians have been killed, and Gaza is a wasteland of rubble with all but a handful of its 2.3 million population squeezed into a tiny corner at the southern end of the enclave. The Palestinian death toll from ongoing Israeli attacks has risen to 24,190, with more than 64,000 injured in the new round of Palestine-Israel conflict since October 7, the Gaza-based health ministry has said. According to the ministry, Israel carried out 12 airstrikes on the Gaza Strip in the past 24 hours, resulting in the loss of 135 lives and leaving 312 people injured. These recent attacks have tragically increased the overall death toll in Gaza. Currently, a staggering of 1.93 million people in Gaza are displaced, accounting for 85% of total local population. The United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, announced on Saturday that large numbers of people are displaced in the past 100 days due to sustained bombardment. The announcement stressed this is the largest displacement of the Palestinian people since 1948. UNRWA's shelters are now home to over 1.4 million Palestinians. However, the shelters are overcrowded and unsanitary. Diseases are also spreading. People lack everything from food to hygiene to privacy. For the people of Gaza, the past 100 days have felt like 100 years, they say. It is high time to restore the value of human life, according to the announcement of UNRWA. In a video message posted to the social media website X, French President Emmanuel Macron called on negotiations for the release of hostages taken by Hamas on 7th of October. France does not abandon its children, he said. referring to the French citizens still in captivity. Israel and Hamas have been waging war for 100 days since gunmen from the Palestinian militant group went on the rampage in southern Israel, triggering an Israeli military campaign in which over 24,000 Palestinians have been killed. The war between Israel and Hamas that has raged since October is the latest in a conflict between Israelis and Palestinians that has rumbled on for 7 decades and destabilized the Middle East. Since the devastating Hamas attack on 7th of October, in which Israel says about 1,200 people were killed and around 240 taken hostages, Israel has carried out an air and land offensive in the Gaza Strip, which it says aims to eradicate Hamas. And moving on, a Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson made remarks on the result of the election in the Taiwan region on Saturday. The spokesperson of the Taiwan Affairs Office of the State Council has commented on the result of the election in China's Taiwan region. The spokesperson said that the Taiwan question is China's internal affair and that whatever changes take place in Taiwan, the basic fact that there is only one China in the world and Taiwan is part of China will not change. The spokesperson added that the One China principle is a solid anchor for peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has said that the government was gathering information and analyzing the situation after North Korea fired a missile earlier today. It appears to have fallen outside Japan's exclusive economic zone, public broadcaster NHK said. Speaking to media during a visit in Japan's recent quake-hit peninsula, Kishida said the government would consider how to respond after assessing the situation properly. The latest missile was fired as tensions run high after Pyongyang's recent launches of an intercontinental ballistic missile and its first military spy satellite. Armed police force thumped Bagmati province by 89 runs in the Prime Minister Cup men's cricket tournament today. Sandeep Jodha had scored a brilliant century in APF's win. In the match played at 2 Cricket Ground in Kirtipur, APF were put into bat first and posted a challenging score of 241 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Sandeep Jodha top scored for APF, scoring 112 runs off 117 balls, smashing 5 sixes and 7 fours. Lokesh Bam also contributed 27 runs and Amar Rotela added 22. Surya Tamang with 3 wickets was the leading wicket taker for Bagmati. Chasing a victory target of 242 runs, Bagmati were bowled out for 152 in 42.5 overs. Skipper Reet Gautam was the leading run scorer for Bagmati with 60 runs. Opener Ashutosh Ghidaiya also added 41 runs and Rabin Joshi scored an unbeaten 20. Rohit Paudel was the pick of the APF bowlers, grabbing 4 wickets. Meanwhile, in another match played today, Karnali Province defeated Gandaki Province by 7 wickets in the match that was delayed due to foggy condition and reduced to 45 overs. In the match played at Siddhartha Cricket Stadium in Siddhartha Nagar, Bhaidahawa, Gandaki batted first after losing the toss and posted a below-par total of 122 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in 45 overs. Amrit Gurung and Kamal Pariyar were the leading run scorers for Gandaki with 21 runs each. Chasing a victory target of 123 runs, Karnali romped home, scoring 126 in 33.2 overs, losing 3 wickets. Himanshu Shahi top scored for Karnali with 53 runs, hitting 2 sixes and 5 fours. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.